Hi, I'm Chris Flaherty, and welcome to this BNEWS Community Update. Last October, the town of Burlington launched its Community Choice Power Supply program, and the numbers for the first 3 months of the program are now in. And today I'm joined by town of Burlington's financial analyst, Sam Hockenbury, to help break down those numbers. Sam, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Awesome. So first off, can you just give us like a brief overview on the program, how it works and such?
Yeah. So when we got approval from the Department of Public Utilities in May, we went about putting everyone in Burlington's electrical supply together and pitched that as a package to suppliers to say, we want to buy directly from you for this amount of energy. And we got bids over different 6-month-long contract periods, and we presented those bid numbers to the select board and selected a 2-year contract to begin in October. Then we sent out a letter to auto-enroll people that they could choose to opt out if they didn't want to participate, but that in your October usage, you would start being charged at this aggregated rate that we went out and solicited. So most people were opted into the same electric profile as regular Eversource, but there were 2 options that people could choose to opt into to pay for slightly more green energy being produced. But a vast majority, like 99%, stuck with the basic program.
Okay. And so we have our quarterly report. Well, shall we get right into it?
Yeah.
So Robert's going to throw up the slides for us.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So the first 3 months of the program, October, November, and December, this totaled to $511,945 of savings. The savings is calculated of how much you're paying the supplier for electricity compared with how much you'd be paying the supplier for electricity from Eversource. So that delta is what generates these numbers. The more energy you use, the more actual dollars are saved, but the saving rate, that difference is the same. So if you really want to save money on your electric bill, use electricity. But this program is a step to trying to help you save at your normal usage.
And that would sort of make sense. December, you know, if you have electric heat, that's going to be running all day. If you got a lot of Christmas lights coming up, you're going to be using a lot more.
Correct.
Okay. And is this a result of more people like changing their program, or just because there was more usage over the winter?
So this is definitely a usage increase that's generating the differences between them. October might be slightly truncated because we start in October, but your billing period is like the end of September is included. So that might also explain why there's such a huge leap between October and November, but it's usage generated.
Okay. All right. Shall we go to the next slide?
Yeah. So $500,000 is a lot of money, but that's over everyone in town, right? So what does that mean per family, per business? Over the course of those 3 months, residents saved an average of $1,550 a month in their electric bills versus what you would have paid without the program.
Okay.
Commercial businesses saved about $50 on average per month. And our industrial users, which there's only 4 of them in the program, but they saved an average of $1,380 per month.
Okay.
I do want to point out that the industrial users, they actually lost money in the program in October, but then more than made up for it in November and December.
Okay.
And that's the part of the aggregation program that we want to make clear to people, is that our price point is constant, Eversource's changes.
Right.
So the amount you'll save will vary, but we're hoping over the length of that 2-year contract, you're going to save more money over the whole length of it versus any given month.
Right.
But right now, we've got a really strong start with everybody having saved a decent number.
Yeah. I mean, that's That's probably a pizza for the family on Friday night, 1728.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So not budget changing, but it's money that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Right, and it will add up over time. This is just the first 3 months.
Correct.
Okay, what do we have next?
So I just want to tap into the green energy options as well. You could choose to pay slightly more for your electricity, but you're paying for a more green energy profile. The two choices that the select board chose was a plus 5% green energy and a plus 25% green energy. We chose those because those numbers at the beginning would still be generating a savings versus Eversource's rate. A couple of businesses also chose to be at the plus 25. That's a political choice, a moral choice, but we did want to make sure that we weren't punishing people by having still a very competitive offer on the price point. So people are still welcome to do that. I will note between February 1st and August 1st of this year, these green energy prices are slightly higher than Eversource's basic rate.
Okay.
So you are paying more than you otherwise would have, but you're also getting more green energy produced than you would have without the program existing. So that's a choice that people can still make.
Okay. All right, so what does the future of the program look like as we go into January, February? Well, we're already past January, February. What are we looking forward to next?
Yeah, so the next update we'll get end of June, beginning of July, and that will cover the January, February, March usage and savings rates. January is going to look a lot like December, similar amount of usage, same price points between Eversource and our program.
Okay.
February, Eversource's supply rate changes and their spring-summer pricing is lower than their fall-winter pricing.
Okay.
And it's much closer to ours. Our price is still lower, so that's the good news.
Yeah.
But it's fractions of a penny per kilowatt hour that you're going to save. So roughly the same, although still technically lower. So we won't be generating $500,000 in savings over Q1 of 2025, but the town will still overall be saving money, and that will also be true of Q2. But Eversource's price will go back up in August, just as that's how the cycle works, and that's how pricing for the winter happens. And so the actual delta should increase, and we'll expect more savings for the rest of the year. So we're really excited that the program looks like it's working, and the residents will be able to benefit from it.
So residents shouldn't panic if the bill's a little higher in the summer. That's just the air conditioning running, right?
Yeah. At this point, it's all about how much you're using and Eversource's delivery rates, but the aggregation program is saving you money that you would have to pay if we didn't have the program at all. So it is working as intended. Is it life-changing amount? No, but it's a step toward trying to help people corral their energy costs.
Right. We're not going to get into like how the Eversource bill works because I know you already did that, but like the aggregation update or the aggregation program, that affects the supply rate of the bill, and then the delivery rate is what Eversource deals.
Yep.
All right. Perfect, Sam. This is great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to talk about the good news.
Yeah. Good news is great news. Maybe we'll have you back in for Q2.
All right. Sounds
awesome.
Good. All right.
All right. And thank you all for watching this BNEWS Community Update. I'm Chris Flaherty. Until next time.